Okay, guys, right back here with you once again. I've got another one for you here, as promised. As soon as I could get my hands on the latest limited edition from Seiko, I wanted to get it back up here for you guys that may be looking for these yourself, especially this one, because it's been quite a long time since there's been an SKX variation or version, and of course it's an ultimately iconic a budget diver that many people, regardless of what they typically will do, will try to get a hold of one of these and have it in their collection. So I think it's kind of interesting. We'll definitely want to get a look at this one here. What we're about to take a look at is a Thailand-only limited edition, which makes it very unique. And this limited edition is truly that. The numbers are limited, and we'll talk a little bit more about that here coming up. But here it is, the SKX65. Okay, let's get into it. Let's get a look at this SKX65K limited edition, limited to only 2,999 pieces of this configuration. You will see right off the bat here, there's a couple of obvious differences. First off, the bezel, not a 70-20. We got a 50-50 Pepsi bezel. We have a very different dial layout for sure compared to the iconic SKX dial that you probably are familiar with. Also, we have a different handset. You can see here, I've got this one. I took it outdoors so you could get a really good look at it in a number of different kind of light variations, natural light largely, so you can get a sense of what this blue is doing as compared to some of the other blue dial watches that have come out from Seiko in recent memory here, and you've seen probably a number of them on the channel. If you're watching my channel, I have reviewed a lot of them, and I will show you some comparisons here up ahead. But you also notice that candy bar, 2 times magnified Cyclops over the date complication. You can see here the 2 real icons, the SKX009, the Pepsi, and the SKX013. Obviously, we're looking different than these 2 black dialed versions, one larger, one smaller, and you can certainly see the difference in the Pepsi bezel configuration. Now, I've got it here next to the Seiko Zimby, which I also put on a Jubilee strap. So you can see both of these because they've both got the Jubilee going here, and you really can see the difference in size. For those of you guys who feel that the Turtle is out of your league in terms of the size, the overall width, this one is terrific as compared to the Turtle in terms of a lower wrist size, more doable if you have a smaller wrist. But really terrific that it comes with the Jubilee bracelet, and I do think that it's an excellent looking version. You can see here, there is the Seiko PADI. Again, also I put this one on the Jubilee bracelet sometime back. Totally different kind of blue happening there. You can see the blue on this one. I got it also, again, next to another Thailand-only limited edition, the Seiko Zimby Baby Tuna. This blue in different indoor light, you can see it's very muted. Almost looks darker. Doesn't really pop like it probably will do in the outside here. See how it kind of comes right at you outdoors. Very different in very different light conditions, and I'll take it into a few different types of light conditions here going forward in the video. You can see on the wrist here, as I'm showing it to you, the overall profile on the wrist in terms of its height is just about the same, the configuration, as compared to the Turtle, just probably a little bit lower in size. Here we got some different light to look at these 2 in comparison, but the size surely is different when you're looking at the width and the lug-to-lug, but the height on the wrist, how tall it is on the wrist, is relatively close, and obviously the edge of the bezel on these very similar. I really do like the look of this, I have to tell you. Now, the handset is very familiar to me, reminds me of the handset on the Sumo, and you can see this is just a basic stock Seiko Jubilee bracelet. So getting a closer look at the dial, it may be something that guys love. I think right now what's going on here is it's entirely possible that Seiko has been paying attention to what the modding community has been doing with the SKX line. A lot of people have been changing and doing some really unique things with their dials and their bezels and their handsets with the SKX because it's infinitely really something that you can change and customize. And you can see here now, showing both the clasps on these, the real difference in terms of the level of quality and construction as compared to that strap code Jubilee bracelet that I have on the Zimby. Now, that is a machine piece. It is a higher level of refinement and quality. It is a solid thing. It's also a lot heavier. Now, having said that, the strap on this, although basic, very simple, it's pressed metal for the clasp, is very light and very comfortable, and a lot of people love it. And I have to say, pretty great overall for what you're getting there in terms of its overall comfort. And just getting a look at the side here, overall the construction of the case and the remaining things that you're familiar with the basic architecture of the SKX watch is the same. It really is the configuration on the dial that you will see is different. Again, comparing to the Zimby, you certainly do have a difference. Now, the box on this one here is not a very elaborate special or limited edition box. It's a black box that fits into a nice little sleeve. You've got your movement papers, your warranty, your polish cloth. You also have an additional rubber strap. And again, this is not a silicone strap. It's a basic kind of a urethane rubber strap, one you're probably familiar with. But it's nice that they're including both in this limited edition version. So at least you have both right there with you in the case. Now, I found that the bezel is what you'd expect from the SKX. Not terribly refined, but it definitely clicks with what you anticipate to see here. It's not refined. It is, for the most part, fairly exact. A little bit of back play, but overall, solid. And I really do think it's a very interesting release, guys. I have to tell you, this is something I think is going to intrigue a lot of guys who have either been waiting to pull the trigger on an SKX or those guys that just really love to collect the rare stuff, and certainly blue watches. I mean, it's been some kind of a year for different versions from Seiko, and now that we're into 2017, there are some really interesting things coming up. And I will talk a little bit about that here soon on the channel. But for those of you guys that are familiar with the 62 MAS, well, I got a line on it. I'm going to try to get a hold of it for you very soon, as there's some variations of that coming up very soon. Okay, guys, well, once again, really quickly here, just before we launch a Loom test. Quickly, the spec 7S26 is the movement. That has not changed. This is still a 200-meter ISO diver. It has a Hardlex crystal, not sapphire. A lot of guys probably anticipate maybe a sapphire would have come on this one. It does include, obviously, that candy bar rectangular magnifier. 41 millimeter case diameter, 13.25 millimeters height, 46 millimeter lug-to-lug, and 22 millimeter bandwidth. Got to tell you, the Loom is terrific. A lot of guys may find that this configuration, once you get a real look at it here in the Loom, you don't have the same indus. The hands are different. Is this one you would like? I don't know. I think this is going to be very polarizing for a lot of guys that really love the original and iconic configuration of the SKX diving watch from Seiko, and so this is going to be an interesting thing to hear about. I'd love to hear from you guys on this one. But for sure, the LumiBrite does look terrific in the evening when you turn the lights off and you need to see the time. Guys, thanks so much for watching. What do you think of this limited edition? Is it something that you will look for? There are only 2,999 pieces worldwide. They will make their way into the marketplace, I anticipate, here very soon. So look on your eBay, possibly even Amazon, for these. Other Japan sellers, other retailers will probably try to get a hold of these and sell them in the secondary market. The original price for this was approximately $300, give or take with the taxes and some discounts. We will see what will happen. It still is relatively low entry price for this one as a limited edition, but as always, supply and demand may influence the price. Tell me what you think. I'd love to hear from you guys. Once again, stay tuned for a lot more coming up here on the channel. I have my eyes on a number of new and very interesting things that I have been able to discover are coming out from Seiko, so stay tuned to the channel. Please like and subscribe, and once again, thanks so much. I will talk to you soon.